Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are having a great Sunday so far. Today I am going to be trying out the new LA Girl Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes, which just dropped on the 14th of this month. They did come out with 4 different palettes with 4 different shade ranges, and I am super excited to be trying them out for you guys. This is going to be a first impression slash review kind of video for today, only because this is going to be my very first time trying out these palettes for myself as well. So I don't know how these are going to work out, but all of the opinions that I am going to throw out throughout this video are my personal opinions and how they personally work for me. So with that being said, let's get started. Alright guys, so like I did mention previously, LA Girl Cosmetics did come out with 4 different palettes, eyeshadow palettes with 4 different shade ranges in each palette. The first one they did come out with is called Surreal Dream, and this is how their packaging looks like. It's pretty nice. I like it. Nothing too crazy. I do like the fact that they did just keep it very clean and just straight to the point, so I do like this packaging a lot. And this is how the Surreal Dream palette looks like. You do have a lot of bright, colorful shadows right on your top row, and then really dark shadows on your bottom row. If you love really dark shadows, I feel like this palette would work best for you. Probably not for me, only because I really don't like working with a lot of dark shadows, but this palette is very beautiful. All of the shadows in this palette are shimmer shadows, except 2 shades on the top and bottom row, which are matte. So you do not have a lot of mattes in this palette, but the range in color is still very pretty. The next palette I'm going to be showing you guys is called Wanderlust, and this is how the palette on the inside looks like. Mostly all of the shades in this palette are also shimmer shades. You do have about 2 mattes also to work with in this palette. There is 1 matte shade on the top and then 1 matte here on the bottom. These colors are all pretty bright to me, so if you like mainly really bright shades and colorful looks, then I think this would be the palette. Moving on to the next palette. This palette is called the Nudist, and this is how the palette looks like inside. This is more of like a palette that I would go in with every single day. I love me some nudes, and I really love the color range in this palette. Definitely a day and night time palette for sure. I really love the fact that this palette does have a little bit of some cool and warm tones in here to work with, and I really love the fact that this palette does have mostly matte shades and a little bit of shimmer shades. I think there are about like 7 matte shades in this palette and about 5 shimmer shades in this palette, so I really love the variety in here. And the last palette is called Get Feverish, which I really love that name, by the way. I love it. And of course, this is how the inside looks like. I really love this palette a lot. I feel like it has so many red undertones, oranges, and a lot of mauve tones in this palette. If you are more of a warm tone kind of gal, this palette is definitely gonna be the palette for you. I just love the color range in here. It actually looks more beautiful in person, you guys. I don't know if the light is kind of taken away from it, but I really love the shade range in here. And also in this palette, you do have about half and half of matte shadows and shimmer shadows in this palette. You do have a lot of different shades you can work with for sure. All right guys, so now I'm going to be deciding what palette I want to use for the makeup look that I'm going to be creating today. I honestly don't know. I definitely don't think I'm going to be using the Surreal Dream, only because it does have a lot of dark tones in this palette, and I don't really like working with a lot of dark tones for my eyes, so I'm definitely not going to be using this one. So that one's a no. For the Wanderlust eyeshadow palette, which is this bad boy right here, there is a lot of bright shadows and bright colors in this palette, so I also don't think I'm going to be working with this. So I think I am going to be going in with both of these palettes right here. I just think they're so freaking beautiful, and they're just me. I could just see myself creating looks with these all the time, so I think I'm just gonna go in with these 2, see what I come up with. I think I am going to be doing my entire face first and then my eyes. I don't think I'm going to be showing you guys the process of my brows and my face today, only because I do want the main focus today to be about these palettes and my eyes and the eyeshadow, of course. So if you guys are wanting to see how I, do my foundation, my highlight, contour, all that good stuff, definitely let me know down in the comments. I will definitely be happy to make a video only focusing on my face and how I do contour and highlight, prep my face, etc. So I am going to be doing that really quickly, and I'll be back with you guys very shortly. All right, guys, so we're back with our face and brows done. I will be doing blush, highlight, lips towards the end of the video, of course. But we're gonna move on to the eyeshadow palettes, of course. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for my eyes today. I'm just going to wing it out and see what I come up with. Hopefully it's something that I love and you guys can wear also. So let's see what I come up with. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna go in with the Nudist palette, and I'm going to be taking the white, like kind of cream shade here, the lightest one in this palette, and adding this to the brow bone. So we're just gonna be packing that on to the brow bone. Apenas acabo de agarrar estas paletas y ya las tengo bien pinches sucias. The next shade I'm going to be taking is this one right here from the Nudist palette as well. I'm going to be taking this shade with my Morphe times Jaclyn Hill brush in JH2033. I'm going to be adding this right on the crease, dragging this really down low here on the inner crease and outer crease. So far, these eyeshadows are actually really good. The ones that I have been using so far, of course, they have been applying really smoothly, and the pigment is actually there. Like, it's actually there. So far, so good. I'm hoping all of these shadows that I'm about to use work the same and the same exact way. And if you guys are wondering, I have not noticed so much fallout as well. I know that's really important, at least for me, when I'm working with shadows, because usually that really determines if the shadow is going to be really good or not, because of the way that it is pressed into the palette. So far there's actually no major like fallout, or even when you do dab your brush into the shadow, it's like very minimal. All right, you guys, so far that blended out really amazingly. Now I'm going to be going back in with that Nudist palette. I'm going to be taking this shade here and adding it the same way we did the other shade, adding it all over the crease. I'm actually really shook of how great these shadows are so far, you guys. Like, I'm being super honest with you guys. And for this palette to be this cheap, for how great of a quality these shadows are so far, is honestly shocking. Moving on to the Get Feverish palette, I'm going to be taking this shade next and adding that right on top of those shadows as well, mixing them all together. And I'm still using the same brush. I do want this look to be mainly focused on the outer corner, like most of all of my looks. You guys know I really love that cat eye effect, so I like to go in with that on all of my looks. So just gonna be dragging this outward. And the last shade I'm going to be taking is this one right here, right on that corner. And I'm just gonna be focusing this right here on the very inner corner, the crease, just so we can bring some of those mauve tones back into this look, just a tiny bit. I have to be honest, these shadows probably have worked better than some of the most expensive shadows I have ever bought, so that should say something. Oh my god, these are working so good. I'm not even joking. All right, guys, next I'm going to be cutting my crease. I'm going to be cutting the crease a little bit down low, right about here, only because I am going to be creating a smoked out liner for this look. And I'm going to be taking my Tarte Shape Tape in Fair Neutral and also this very flat defined brush. Now that we have our cut creases cut, I'm going to go in with this shade here from the Get Feverish palette, and I'm going to be using that same flat brush that we used to cut our crease with, and I'm just going to be adding this right on the very beginning part of our lid. I really thought this orange shade was going to be a lot lighter, but it's not. But it's okay, we're gonna work with what we have. And the last shade I'm gonna be using for the lid is this shade here. And I'm going to be adding this right on the center, mixing that in with the other shade. Alright guys, so I did go ahead and add a little bit of this shadow here from the Get Feverish palette with my finger and added that right in between that orange shade that we applied and that mauve shade. Moving on to liner, I'm going to be using this Pretty Vulgar liner in Black List, and I'm going to be taking my Anastasia number 12 pencil and the Sigma Bent liner brush in B12 to apply my liner with. I'm going to be taking this liner really high up into that crease. Taking a small stippling brush like this. This is from Sigma. This is the Dual Fiber Blend brush in B11. I'm just going to blend out that gel liner really, really carefully and dragging out that bottom line towards my brow. And I'm just going to be taking this black shadow here from the Nudist palette and just blend out that liner just a tiny bit. Woo! We blended it out. We blended it out. And it looks amazing. All right guys, moving on to the bottom lash line, I'm going to be adding this shade here, and I'm going to be using my Morphe times Jaclyn Hill brush in JH39. I do kind of want to drag that shadow right there on the bottom of that wing that we created, just so both of those can kind of connect a little bit. And the last two shades I'm going to be adding to my bottom lash line are these two here. Next, we're going to be adding liner, and I'm going to be using the same Black List gel liner from Pretty Vulgar. And now I'm just going to be smudging it out with the same brush we used for our bottom lash line. Alright guys, for lashes, I'm going to be using these doll lashes in the style Bella. Alright guys, so we're pretty much done with the eyes. I love how it looks. Honestly, it just looks so freaking beautiful. So we're gonna move on to the face and then do the lips. For blush, I'm going to be taking this Laura Mercier blush in Peach. For my lips, I'm going to go in with this LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner in Satin Plum, and this Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick from Too Faced in the shade Suck It. I know you guys are super tired of me wearing nude, so of course I'm going to be changing it up for you guys. I changed up my lashes today, my lips today. We're making progress. Okay, so I'm just gonna line this real quick. Alright guys, so we are all completed. Now it's time to give you guys my final thoughts on these palettes. I did just try the nude Nudist palette and the Get Feverish palette, of course. So these are the only two palettes that I definitely do approve of. The shadows in this palette are honestly freaking amazing. I definitely feel like these two palettes are go-to palettes for sure. If you do like more of warmer shades, definitely go with the Get Feverish palette. If you're more of a nude girl, smoky girl, definitely go with the Nudist palette. But both of these two together, I feel like you have a lot of shades to work with to create amazing looks together. Now the other two palettes, the Surreal Dream and Wanderlust palette, if both of these did have more variety of matte shades to work with, I would have used either, but since they didn't, I decided not to use these. As far as the quality and price point of these palettes, honestly, you cannot go wrong. To be honest, I was actually pretty shook using these eyeshadow palettes because the pigment was there. They blended out smoothly, and overall they never left my eyes patchy at all. Once I was blending, the fallout was very minimal. I feel like they did really press on these shadows really well into these palettes, and they did formulated them really good. So for the price point, I definitely think these are worth it. As far as the Nudist and Get Feverish, I definitely feel like these are definitely worth buying. As far as the Wanderlust and Surreal Dream, I don't know. I honestly personally would not buy these myself. But if you like color and if you like dark shades, you will probably like these two. I definitely do feel like the mattes in both of these palettes that I used today worked out amazingly. As far as the satin shades and the shimmer shades in these palettes, it can be a little bit more pigmented, but like I mentioned, you guys are working with a really low price point. And for that price point, I feel like it's really good. I feel like you can definitely make them work no matter what, whether they're wet or dry. I really do wish the satin shades and shimmer shades in this palette were a tiny bit more pigmented. But other than that, honestly, I don't have anything to complain about because these are honestly very cheap and amazing. So that is pretty much it, you guys. Out of 1 to 10, I do give these an 8 in rating. They're pretty freaking bomb, and I really hope you guys can try these out for yourselves because they're really amazing. I will be listing all of the information for these palettes down in the description box for you guys, as well as their website and all of the products that I did use in this video, as well as all of my social media. That way you guys know what I do when I'm not on YouTube. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.